It just doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. This type of thing happens all the time. I'm sure. Oh, you have a join button. I should finish. I should finish.
Oh, the membership thing.
So I can get a join.
I have no idea how many people are actually subscribed.
I bet there's lots.
I made it and then I haven't really checked the
Probably
statistics.
tons of people.
Probably.
All right.
At least
It
half.
says we're live.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there we go. See?
All right. That's more like it.
Everything's perfect.
That's a good sign. Okay. All right. Can we start?
Yeah, we're started. It has begun.
Has begun. Now the stream is waiting on me. All right. Welcome. Come one, come all. Hear ye. This be the Awesome Hardware live stream.
Like a town. Wait, that was a town crier.
Ding ding.
Right into a pirate.
Yeah. We're all about mashups here. We promote diversity when we can. Thank you for being here. This is Awesome Hardware, episode 186, Side A. In about half an hour or so, we'll switch over to Side B on Paul's channel, youtube.com/Paul's Hardware. And, we do this every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/Awesome Hardware, and, of course, our respective YouTube channels. Thank you for being here. We occasionally talk about news and important things and cover things of interest. And
technology, usually.
Usually technology-related, but more frequently
Loosely.
we'll drink a couple beers on stream as well.
Beers.
Cheers to all of you at home.
Cheers.
Thank you. Or at work. A lot of people watch us from work. We're very diverse. We're very palatable like that. You can watch us anywhere.
Kyle has a new glass he's selling in his store.
Yeah. Buy my new GN glass.
The new Gamers Nexus glass.
Stands for Kyle's.
Don't buy
nice.
the Gamers Nexus glass from the Gamers Nexus store. Buy it from Kyle's store.
Yes. You will definitely find all kinds of Gamers in Texas merchandise on my store. Speaking of stores, my store is bitwit.tech.
What a segue.
Bitwit.tech. Thank you, Paul, for that beautiful alley-oop.
All right, that time the Stream Deck worked.
Oh, yeah?
If we're late today, it's because of the Stream Deck.
Sure. Blame Elgato.
Kinda.
Blame Corsair.
Yeah.
But this is my store. You can see we still have the Screw with Confidence shirts. They've been flying off the shelves.
Oh, yeah.
I already have to restock the first batch because you guys are just buying them up. So if you already bought one, thank you. Feel free to buy 5 more. If you haven't bought one yet, where are you?
I'm wearing one.
What? Yeah, Paul's wearing one right now in classic Paul fashion. Looks really good on you, Paul.
Thanks.
Is it comfy? Comfy, same
Yeah, it's good.
same
I
quality
feel like
that we're used to?
It emphasizes my nipples a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well,
little-
that's how else are you gonna turn on the ladies?
Which is probably
it's like a beacon of
because
sexiness.
of the logo on there, Screw with Confidence.
Exactly. It all goes hand in hand. Paul also has his store, paulshardware.net.
Yeah.
You can pick up the new captive thumbscrew short or selective merchandise. Ranges from pint glasses to shirts and hoodies and bottle openers that we're using today. And everything is very high quality.
Fun things.
So we will yell Johnson at you at the end of the show if you happen to pick up anything from either of our stores. And if you get anything that's Awesome Hardware merchandise related, then you get double Johnsons. No, you don't get double Johnsons for picking up that. We split the profits evenly. We split the profits evenly regardless of which site you buy it off of. So you don't have to be burdened with the task of choosing. All right, I think that's pretty much it for. We don't have any other announcements, right?
It's funny because you have subtitles going on your video there.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it like live transcribe what we're saying.
which is 95% accurate.
Impressive how accurate it is, and
Considering
funny
for how much I stumble.
when it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they get double? Oh, they said double Judsons.
Double Judsons.
Double Judsons. If you guys want just like an extra entertainment factor, turn on subtitles because we're not interesting enough. It's pretty fun. All right, so we can move on to some tech news here. I actually have quite a few stories today, but they're most of them are pretty short, so we'll get through them relatively quick. All right, the first one is from. Actually, it's not an article. It's just a posting. It's a listing from Newegg.
It is.
The AMD Ryzen 7 2700X AMD 50 Gold Editions to celebrate their 50th year anniversary.
Gold.
It's gold, baby. For $329 US compared to $295 for the non-special, boring 2700X. But where's the fun in that? So obviously you got to pay that extra $35 to get a gold box. You get a gold box. You get a Wraith Prism cooler. And the CPU itself has some etching into it. I don't know if it's etching, but
it's Lisa's
It's a signature.
This is Siggy right there.
The photo team at Newegg really did a number on this one.
They did. They took one out.
know?
You gotta give them credit for that. That or AMD sent them these pictures, but I don't know.
It looks like typical Newegg photography.
Forge Lisa Sue's checks, right? Checks.
Yeah,
as Lisa
forge your signature
Sue.
anywhere.
Just transcribe that.
Yep.
I mean, you could just do that straight from the Newegg site. You don't even have to buy the processor for that.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. It's free plagiarism. And
look, you get a
free badge.
A certificate.
Yeah, there's a nice
which also has Lisa's signature.
Right. Just to make it even more clear how to plagiarize her SIG. And there's no performance uplift with these chips as far as we can tell. If it is, it's not advertised.
We're like, oh, they must have binned them and made these better.
That would have been nice, but
like, no, they're just got an etching.
It's for those, those diehard collectors.
Some gold on the box.
Yeah. There's
50-year anniversary.
There's usually no practical reason to be a collector of things. Unless you're like selling it back for lots of money. It's usually a hobby. It's because you have an interest.
Why does it always have to be about money?
Doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be about money. Sometimes it could be added functionality or performance. Like if these were binned, then there might be a more practical reason to spend more money on something like that.
Maybe there's a select group of people out there who buy every single AMD processor that they've ever come out with, and now this will be another one that they need to add to the collection.
Another feather in the hat.
It's all about 100% completion. That's important.
But
once you make a commitment for that, you have to stick with it.
I'm not knocking 100% completion. I'm just saying that it's impractical, especially if it's more costly than, 95%.
I don't understand. Impractical.
You straight from a completionist's mouth. No,
I gave up completionism.
I don't hate collectors. Let the record state. Do I collect anything currently? I collect viewers.
collect YouTube money.
Who?
Collecting that every day.
I don't really collect anything. I'm probably a boring person.
Why don't you add some depth to your character and start collecting some shit? Like,
what would you collect if you were a collector? Because you don't collect anything either, right? If you collected something, what do you think is the first thing? Like Pokemon cards, those pop figurines, video games.
I do have a coin collection, like an old coin collection.
Okay, but that was
it was like a year that I collected coins sometime long ago, but I still have them. I bet they're worth a lot of money. I have some comic books.
Okay.
I have some of those.
That's a
and
good
the
collection.
Cards, the comic book trading cards that quantify each hero's statistics as far as how powerful they are and stuff.
That's super nerdy.
Those are really helpful for.
But see, comic book collecting makes sense to me because you can it's a form of entertainment. You get joy out of reading and being what do you do with coins?
You can't read the comics.
You can't read it. They have to be in pristine condition.
If you take it out of the packaging and touch it, then that immediately reduces the value, and that you can't have that.
Oh, so it is all about money for you.
What?
You're knocking me for mentioning money, and now all of a sudden, well, I can't.
It's not money. It's mint, and if it's not mint, it's bullshit. And why would you want something that's not mint condition? And if you take it out of the packaging, then it's not mint anymore. Yes, the value goes down, so that's part of it. But it's more about, again, that 100% completion thing.
No, yeah.
You have to have everything, and they have to be perfect and untouched, unsullied by the world. And
nice Game of Thrones reference there.
Hey, the Unsullied, they were important.
They fought hard.
They did.
No, yeah, but it's the same thing. Like I used to have Pokemon cards. I used to collect them when I was younger and stuff. And someone would be like, oh, if it's like an untouched, mint edition, first edition Charizard, it's worth like a shit ton of money. When I was that young, I didn't care about keeping it fresh for the money, for the value. I just liked a really clean card. It was just pristine, and I just got a hard on for how friggin' perfect it was. So again, it goes back to my statement, my argument, which is valid, which is collecting is not often practical. If it was about the money, it would be more practical. But no, there's nothing practical about keeping something super fresh. That's all just a weird internal hard-on catalyst.
I think the term practical is subjective because I could argue that if somebody derives joy from something like that, then it is practical.
Not in the common man's
who are you to shit on someone else's joy?
That's I will shit
about
on
that?
I will shit on everyone's
So
joy.
let people collect their stupid comic books and their other stuff that they collect.
I'm
All right, we got it.
I'm the author. I'm the author on what's enjoyable.
Got on a
All right.
tangent here.
Okay, how do we do that? We managed to turn this really short story into something lengthy. It's growing. All right, let's
immediately contradicting what you said at the beginning of the show.
exactly. This is bad foreshadowing. So we have our next topic here about an analyst. It's an analyst group called John Petty Research, JPR.
Yeah, JPR. They're pretty well known.
Yeah, and they make some bold claims here that in about 3 years, over the next 3 years, roughly 20 million PC gamers are going to be switching to TV gaming platforms.
Huh.
And this is going to coincide with the declining PC platform and its waning popularity, according to them, which I don't think is true. And they're saying that this is going to affect mostly low-end users, and what they mean by low-end users is
Stupid people?
stupid people, but mainly people that have
Obviously, you'd have to be of low intelligence
to be a low-end.
migrate to an inferior platform. Let's. All right. I have an immediate question here.
Okay.
As far as how they're quantifying
Yeah.
whatever they're basing this on. TV gaming platforms. I PC game on the TV all the time. I have a gaming PC that's
Right.
connected to the television in the living room. I have wireless controllers for it. I can use it in a very similar fashion to a console.
Sure.
Does that count?
I don't think that counts.
Are they talking about PC gamers who are just plugging their PC into a flat screen television?
They should have clarified.
Are they assuming that Nvidia is going to go crazy selling their big fucking gaming displays or whatever
the
they're called?
BFGs?
Yeah, the BFGs.
No.
Maybe that's part of this. Is that, or no? This is all just. I'm
think,
pulling that all out of my ass. By the way, it's based on nothing.
Yeah, I think what they mean is gaming consoles or gaming platforms that are more commonly hooked up to a TV. I mean, yes, people do connect their PCs to TVs to game, but it's not quite as common as people who do the same thing with consoles. I think they're meaning that most PC gamers, or millions of PC gamers, are going to switch to non-PC alternatives for their gaming, their primary gaming platform. And they're saying mostly low-end users, meaning people who have builds under $1,000 of value, which, if you look at the statistics, is the majority of PC gamers anyway. Most PC gamers have systems that were built for under $1,000. So they're saying, again, these are pretty bold claims. And the reason why they're saying this is, they're saying that this is the result of improvements to TV displays. Console performance is increasing and becoming more like a PC than ever before. And there's also the idea of console-exclusive titles that are super appealing. Now, they also say that the technology in PCs is slowing down. We're seeing slowed down tech advances on the PC side. Performance gains are becoming few and far between. They're more incremental improvements in performance, and they're taking longer to achieve, which there might be some truth to that, but there's a lot of other things they're overlooking as well. For example, having technical changes be so far apart also decreases the price of PC gaming hardware. PC hardware becomes cheaper if the time between big launches gets further apart. And so it becomes more approachable. There's a lower barrier to entry in that same sense. There's also all of these other factors, all these benefits of having a PC that the report ignores, like the freedom to choose whatever hardware you want, having custom peripherals, open storefronts, different mod support for games, work usage, the fact that you can multitask with a PC, whereas it's a bit more difficult on a console, and the list kind of goes on here. So it seems like a very short-sighted report, even though, as you mentioned, this is a well-known analyst. JPR has been around for a while, and a lot of people take their reports seriously, and they seem legitimate. But it's also
this one conflicts with our
what I believe.
predetermined notions of and what we believe.
Yes, so it must be wrong.
Garbage.
It must be wrong. And I just find it hard to believe that they're claiming that hundreds of millions will flock to TV gaming in the next 5 years. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think just like having better graphics, there's gonna be that group of people who want a game with the best, and I feel like it's easier to do that as PC hardware gets cheaper. You don't need to spend $3,000 on a gaming PC to achieve that. You get unlocked frame rates, which is fantastic, and you can do that with a mid-range system. And the keyboard and mouse interface, I mean, unless console can really start adding full-blown support to all their games, their AAA titles for keyboard and mouse, I just don't see it happening because. And even if going back to your example of what if they mean are they leaving out the fact that some people connect PCs to their TVs? I still don't think there's a really good solution for gaming on a PC in the living room. Because the keyboard and mouse thing, I feel like you need a desk to use a keyboard and mouse effectively. I've used the Corsair Lapdog and stuff in the past and other alternatives, and it's just not quite as comfortable. I need that extra lumbar support that an office chair offers in order to feel like I really have good ergonomics when gaming on a PC. So I don't know. I think this is a pretty far-fetched claim. This report seems like it doesn't have a lot of weight to it. There are certain truths here that they point out, of performance gains just being very incremental over the last few years. But I still think it's a bunch of bollocks. PC glory forever. Also, just content creators pushing things forward as, we're living in the age of the internet, like Twitch streamers. Think about all the Twitch streamers that are gamers, which is the vast majority of Twitch streamers. They're mostly on PC. And I feel like a lot of them get, sponsorship branded deals with, Digital Storm and CyberPower or whatever, EK and stuff. And they're advertising PC gaming, in a sense, to all of their followers. And I feel like PC is still the holy grail of gaming platforms. I feel like that's still the general consensus for most people. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's still what everyone strives to get to is PC Master Race. But I don't know. I think it's stupid. All right, you clearly have many thoughts brewing in that mind of yours, Paul. Just waiting to unload them right now and drop some knowledge on us.
I'd be curious as to how they came to these conclusions.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of speculation going on, so I would point to, if you're talking about gaming in the living room, gaming on the living room TV, those are becoming more and more often 4K TVs, and if you want to push 4K, yes, some of the consoles can do it, but if you want to do it and have actual good, textures and be able to turn settings up and everything, you kind of need a PC for that. Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Stupid article. John Petty's stupid now.
Dumb. JPR. Screw you guys. Let's move on to our next article from Hexus. Sinden. This is the Sinden light gun for Windows. Yeah. It's a Kickstarter campaign that is basically a light gun.
It's playing Duck Hunt.
You remember Duck Hunt, right? On the NES? You ever play Duck Hunt?
That's Josh. Josh is playing Duck Hunt.
Fractal Josh?
Yeah, Fractal Josh, right?
Hey, not all redheads look the same, okay? Just because he's a ginger doesn't mean they're...
It's a very similar haircut and facial structure as well, besides being a ginger.
And that's exactly how Josh holds a gun.
It is. He has a very good aim, so he's very casual about it.
Those are his jeans, too. And his couch.
Yep.
He loves those pillows. All right, this is crazy. They had a $32,000 goal.
Oh, it's so loud.
They blew past the $32,000 goal. They're at about what are they at? Look at their Kickstarter page now. They were at 185 when I last checked. $185,000. And now they're probably at what, 200? 190, 195? I think it's the raised over. Yeah. 186.
$186,000.
They're $186,000 well past their goal of $32,000, and they still have 2 weeks to go. These guys are going to be they're probably going to raise $300,000, $400,000, maybe even $500,000 for this friggin' light gun. Who knew there was such a demand for this thing? And it makes sense in a way. because light guns have been great in the past for CRT monitors. They just work really well for those. But when you're talking about using a light gun on an LCD display, you typically have to introduce sensors into the mix, which is why, and that introduces a lot of lag, which is why the light guns that we've seen in the past from guys like PlayStation and even the Wii U did not work very well. They were just kind of garbage, and the lag was too extreme to overcome those challenges. So this is a different type of light gun where it doesn't have a sensor whatsoever. There's no sensor bar that you need to sync up because it has a high-speed camera built in as well as a whatchamacallit. No, I'm sorry. It has a high-speed camera built in that recognizes the rectangular border of your TV or monitor, which is why, TLDR, it doesn't actually need a dedicated sensor, which reduces the amount of lag significantly. It also has its own dedicated CPU, which means there's no calibration needed, like other light guns, and it can add 3D user movement in supported games. It's fully Windows supported. So that's cool. You can PC game and maybe download, install some emulators, get some emulators going, play games like Time Crisis or House of the Dead.
Time Crisis is fun.
Yeah, super fun. And, I could see this being like a great party accessory, like a party game accessory, is having a couple light guns in the house. Yeah, bust them out when you're, throwing a little fun party with some friends. It's a cool little party tool. And this is also going to feature 8 buttons that are programmable, or I should say 4 of the 8 buttons are programmable. You reload with a pump. There's a little physical pump that you can pump action.
That's immersive.
Very immersive.
Yeah.
VR is looking dated in comparison, and it's also going to support Linux at some point. They're saying that the Linux support is experimental at this point. So, but I think most people are probably going to be using this for Windows. It can be used with like Raspbian, which is the one of the main Raspberry Pi OSs. So you could actually turn a Raspberry Pi into like a retro arcade shooter type of PC, which is pretty cool. I'm sure there are going to be some cool applications for this. If you wanted to get one of these bad boys, you're gonna have to pay 80 Great British Pounds. GBP to USD is $104.
Wow.
Roughly $104 for this gaming accessory, which will be worth it more to some than others. Or you can pay 130 Great British Pounds for the recoil version, which I would imagine has some sort of simulated blowback or kickback on the actual gun, which is pretty cool. Supported games include, like I mentioned, Time Crisis 1, 2, and 3, House of the Dead 1, 2, 3, 4, and Overkill, Duck Hunt, Point Blank 1, 2, and 3, Terminator 2 Arcade, Star Wars Trilogy, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, Area 51, and many, many more.
Cool.
I think it's fun.
It looks fun.
I think it's fun. It kind of brings you back to that arcade style of gaming.
Yeah.
That
like 2-player, or you can you can dual wield.
Right. Oh yeah, he's totally double fisting right there.
Side by side.
So
guns.
Very, very cool. If you guys are interested, maybe I always hate recommending Kickstarters or any kind of crowdfunded campaign because you never know if you're gonna get what they've promised. Which is why you've got guys like LinusTechTips making entire web series like Kickfarter that shows off how crowdfunded campaigns can go south.
I think it's Kickfarted.
Kickfarted, sorry.
I feel bad that I know that and for correcting you. But I did it anyway.
All right.
So that's fun.
Yeah, that's super fun. Someone back it, and when you get it, do a review on it. So
let us know.
Let us know if we made the right choice of not funding it. Let's move on, though, to this article from Overclock3D.net about AMD's latest game bundle you should all be aware of in case you're looking to buy a new GPU. And in particular, this is celebrating their 50th year anniversary that we mentioned earlier. So it's a very special game bundle, very celebratory. And it essentially ships with anyone who's purchasing a Ryzen, or it ships with a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 2000 series CPU, so second gen Ryzen. Or you could get an RX 570 or RX 580 or higher, and this game bundle will also be eligible for those GPUs as well.
What's the games? What are the games?
The games include the Division 2 Gold Edition, which I think includes some like DLC and stuff like that you'd otherwise have to pay extra for. And World War Z, which I'm not too familiar with. I've heard of it, but I haven't. I don't know if it's a good game or not, or what the gameplay is like. But you get two pretty AAA games.
Sounds like a math game and a spelling game.
World War Z. Yeah, right.
And The Division 2.
World War Z, from the creators who brought you Resident Evil and Sesame Street. Comes a new... It's like you gotta spell the words quickly.
And the letter R.
In order to survive the zombie apocalypse. And the letter R. So, this is basically... This article just goes on to say, like, you know, to reiterate the fact that the RX 570, for example, is such a better deal. A much better deal right now than the GTX 1650 that was recently launched from NVIDIA, because it's not only cheaper, but it's faster as well in the majority of titles. And, you know, that's... It's you can buy an RX 570 for much lower than its original MSRP, mainly because it's been out for so long. Which also goes to show the GTX 1650 is kind of... It's like 2 years behind with its performance, and NVIDIA seems to be out of their mind charging the price that they are at 150 USD.
It's very weird.
It's so bizarre.
I don't know.
Is that just a high horse that they're on, where they're like,
I don't know.
We can do it. People will still buy it. Are they in that mentality now? Is that where they are? People will buy it because it's us.
People will buy it because they'll buy NVIDIA because they think NVIDIA is the best. I'm sure that
applies to some degree, I'm sure.
I'm sure that pitch was made at some point when they were discussing market positioning for this product and stuff.
Right.
But I don't think that's a good thing to ride on, especially for PC gamers. I think
very anti-consumer.
They tend to be much more savvy when it comes to actual performance of parts and researching stuff before they buy and everything. I mean, that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Not that we're super awesome at it, but we do our best. Point being,
we are the best.
1650 launch, surprising it was that they saw coming how poor the reception was going to be, they were still just like, no, just push it out. Just hold back the driver so no reviewers can review it before it launches.
It was like they even admitted, by doing that, they even admitted that they knew it was going to be a bad launch and that it was a bad product.
Yeah, it's weird. But,
Anyway.
So it goes. Don't buy a 1650 for $150. You can get 8 gig 570s. I've seen some 8 gig 580s for $150.
Not much more. Yeah.
Maybe 160.
Yeah. Hardly more than a GTX 1650. So it really puts it in a difficult position to vouch for. But let's move on to our next article from Overclock 3D once again. This is about the Nintendo Switch gaining CPU overclocking support.
Nice.
What? But this is maybe not exactly what you might have thought. So this is in reference to the latest update to the Nintendo Switch that actually gives a boost mode to the onboard Tegra X1 SoC from 1.020 gigahertz to 1.75 gigahertz. That's nearly a 75% boost. Pretty darn handy there. But this is unfortunately not for continuous use on the Nintendo Switch. Rather, it is a boost mode that temporarily kicks in when you're loading games.
Look at that.
It's to speed up load times. So this guy was testing out Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and found that after the update, 11 point something seconds.
11.31.
11 some seconds to load versus 16.
5 seconds of your life.
Hey.
Every time you load up a Zelda game or whatever.
If you're loading this up hundreds of times a week or month, that adds up. That definitely adds up. So it's kind of cool that we're getting these, CPU overclock straight from software updates. Although it's not...
That's not Zelda, it's Shrine. Sorry.
Okay.
Looks Zelda-y.
Sorry, I thought it was Zelda-y too.
No.
I thought it is.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's what they said.
Loading... okay, sorry. It's Breath of the Wild.
Just a scene from it. Shrine loading. Shrine is probably the...
Maybe a location or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't played Breath of the Wild.
Neither have I.
I do really like Zelda games. I just haven't played any of the newer ones.
Yeah, same. I don't think I've ever played a Zelda game all the way through, which is very sad.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even the old ones?
Don't tell anyone I said that. No, I never have. Because I never got around to playing Legend of Zelda on NES. It didn't even enter my atmosphere. Like, it just wasn't on my radar. And then I never had an SNES. And when I got N64, I don't know. I just, for some reason, Legend of Zelda never... I hung out with the wrong crowd.
You did.
Bad influences.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
They were buying, like, Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I've heard so many positive things about Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I would be playing if I felt like I had time to play video games.
Yeah.
For more than the short. That's what's happened to me. Is like I know I have so much less time to play video games now, so I'm drawn more to the short episodic like Overwatch. I can play a couple of games of
Go in and out.
Overwatch and then stop playing.
Right.
You know, it's not like the games that are longer that have a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you play for a couple hours and then you can't play for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And then you come back and like what
where
the
am I?
hell's going on
Exactly.
in this game?
Yeah.
It sucks.
I need bite-sized gaming experiences. It's very sad.
Anyway,
Adulting sucks.
hopefully I'll get a chance to try it at some point.
Yeah. So, sorry if anyone thought that they were going to be able to, like, liquid cool their Switch and get crazy performance in game and up the FPS, which is probably locked anyway. Yeah, that's not exactly what it is. But it's still kind of cool that to know that this sort of update is possible. Might be applicable in future generations of console. Let's move on to our last article for this segment of Tech News, which is from Ars Technica, referencing a TV that Samsung has made specifically for millennials.
Oh.
Which is really weird, kind of a specific demo. But this is a 43-inch Sero, or Sero, S-E-R-O, Sero, I don't know how to pronounce it. That's what the model name is. The Sero, the 43-inch Sero goes landscape or portrait mode.
Hey.
Why would you ever want a TV, a 43-inch TV, to go portrait mode, you ask? Well, as the increasing number of millennials continue to view mobile content on their mobile devices, maybe some of those millennials will also want to see that same content on a large screen. So there is built-in NFC technology into the Sero that comes equipped with a very simple and easy-to-use mirroring function. So you can actually mirror what's on your phone onto this 43-inch vertical TV. So yeah, if you're watching Instagram TV, for example, which is shot in portrait mode and displayed in portrait mode, or you happen to be on...
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, God, I'm so glad I've never looked at that.
Yeah, it's all vertical, and it's very disturbing.
Ah.
It just... I don't like it.
I want to...
It rubs me the wrong way.
I feel physically ill.
It's exactly right. It is quite traumatizing. And then you also have... well, that's it. It's a TV that goes vertical.
Nothing else special.
Nothing special.
Just they made a stand that can rotate.
Watch your TikTok videos the way they were intended to be on a large screen in your living room. No, that's not at all. Maybe mobile content, most mobile content is so shitty, maybe it's meant to be on a 5-inch screen and no larger than that. You ever think about that? And also, the author of the article brings up a good point. You know, the reason why vertical video exists in the first place is because people are too damn lazy and can't be bothered to rotate their 5-inch screens 90 degrees. Why the hell are they going to do it with a 43-inch TV? Very good point. Damn good point. Don't worry, it's only 1.89 million won, Korean won, which equates to about $1,600 US. That's
actually the updated price, right? The original article said it was $16,000, but
$16,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then they updated it.
I only read the update too because I felt
18.9 million won is a Google Translate bug. It's 1.89 million won or $1,600.
And this is only going to be a Korea launch, South Korean launch, so you don't have to worry about getting annoyed by it in the US or anywhere else. Let's move on.
You can still get annoyed by it even if you're not in Korea.
That's true. Maybe it's not as in your face, perhaps. All right, let's move on to our next segment here, which is tech fails. Oh, I forgot to give you the damn.
You did forget you.
Son of a bitch!
You made it.
Can we do it impromptu? Maybe I can do a song and dance quick enough for you to load that up. So
let's see what I can do.
You see here, kids, the segment tech fails focuses on technology, whether it be hardware, concepts, or ideas. Or practices that have, in some way or another, failed.
Where'd you put it?
Oh crap! I forgot to put it on the USB
never
drive.
even copied
Forget it. Damn it! I spent time on it too. Thought it was so cool. It's actually really terrible. Lower thirds. Oh, I saved it to the desktop. Son of a bitch. All right, it's fine.
It looks.
It's literally the
We
worst.
should make everyone wait at least another minute so
Just so they can see that.
we can. No.
And when they see it, they'll be like, it was not worth it at all. Let's talk about our first Tech Fails article here. It's actually not an article. It's actually a YouTube video.
YouTube video
From our friend, our one and only friend, Jay's 2 cents. Oh, Jay. All right. So it's titled, This PC Wouldn't Boot. You'll Never Guess Why. And it all stems from a huge tech fail, that being the SSD. The HyperX Fury RGB 2.5-inch SSD that got so hot that overheated so badly due to the 75 RGB LEDs that are in it that it actually malfunctioned and prevented Windows from booting. So he actually has a thermal camera on here. This is as soon as he turns the LEDs on the SSD. Again, 75 LEDs. Why would you even cram that much lighting onto such a small device? You can see the temperature is rising. This is in almost real time. It's 15x.
It's 15 times faster than real time, which is
Definitely
almost
not,
real time.
It's definitely not real time. But the fact that this is still increasing well beyond its idle temps without the LEDs on of like 30C.
He wasn't doing anything with it there either.
No, he wasn't even doing anything. It was completely idle. This is just the LEDs heating up the drive. So it went from 30C to around 70C. More than doubled. The temperature more than doubled just from having the LEDs on at idle. The SSD wasn't doing anything, and it was still getting so hot, it could not function properly. It's insane. He even had a case fan. At one point, he tried aiming a case fan directly onto the drive to see if that would help thermal throttling. Mm-hmm. It did very minimal. It basically did nothing. It was not very effective whatsoever. So not even good cooling, proper cooling in a case could help the situation. Now, this is probably the controller that's overheating, the actual controller as opposed to the individual NAND chips, because NAND tends to do a lot better under heat when it's warmed up than controllers do. Of course, there is a maximum point where that all falls to shit and NAND will overheat, but it has a much higher heat tolerance than controllers do. So I would speculate that it's really the controller that was getting too hot because of the LEDs.
I didn't watch this whole video. Does he really try to put a water cooler on it at the end?
I don't think he put a water cooler on it.
It's got an AIO he's trying to attach to a plate.
I don't remember seeing this part, so I clearly didn't watch the whole thing either. I mean, it's a Jay video, It's Jay doing his thing. Yeah. I'm sure it's great. It's a great video, solid content. But, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. It's at least 10 minutes and 1 second. It's a lot of time.
I don't know how effective that would be. All right.
I don't know. But yeah, it's a good video. You guys should check it out. You know what's interesting is that the white LED got it hottest the quickest. Like when you switched over to a different color, like red or blue, it didn't actually get as hot. Or it would take a lot longer to heat up.
That makes
to where it was with the white.
That makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, I guess it does because all the colors are maxed out, right? And so all the LEDs are at full.
Because white
full 100%.
White is all usually
all values.
Usually an RGB has three small LEDs,
right.
A red, a green, and a blue. And if you put them all at max brightness, that's white.
It's white. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about that. So I guess this is all to say that if you're going to buy a HyperX Fury RGB SSD, don't, unless you're okay with disabling the SSD.
Don't get the
LEDs.
RGB one.
Do they have a non-RGB version of the Fury?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. There you go. That's honestly it. If you like the drive itself, the way it looks.
Doesn't seem really necessary. It's purely an aesthetic improvement.
Yeah. So, first tech fail of the day. Thank you, Jay, for shedding light on that. Let's all... and he got on trending on that one, by the way. He was on number 45 on YouTube trending for that video.
Nice.
So, congrats, Jay.
Good job, Jay.
Yeah, it's looking good. Let's move on to our second tech fail of the day, which is is an article from iFixit. And they're briefly talking about how or why the Samsung Galaxy Fold has been failing as hard as it has been. Have you seen any of the sort of videos on the Galaxy Fold or why people are so
a couple
underwhelmed by it?
Here and there.
There have been many people, many different reviewers who have taken a first look and just found it. And it's all been unanimously bad press. This thing has just gotten creamed one way or another for various reasons. And so iFixit, being the fix-it pros, repair pros that they are, took another look and are speculating in this article as to why it's doing such a bad job. So the first thing they say is that they give OLEDs credit because it's using an OLED screen, of course. OLEDs are the only type of screen right now that can really fold in this manner, especially due to the fact that they don't have a backlight that LCD panels are usually pitted with or stuck with. But they're also a lot more delicate and just overall fragile than LCDs. Different story. Which means that they're prone to complete failure as opposed to more localized damage. With an LCD, you might have some dead pixels in one area, but the rest of the screen works perfectly fine. Whereas an OLED is much more prone to just kicking the bucket entirely if any one little thing goes wrong. So they're a lot more fragile, even though they're more foldable, for lack of a better term. So even a small crap in a crap. Wow, my words are words. Even a small crack in the encapsulation layer that surrounds the OLED layer can permanently damage organic materials inside the display. And this is because OLEDs are highly sensitive to things like oxygen and moisture, which is why it's so surprising that several of the reviewers found, I guess lack of a better term, like back doors or just open cracks in the phone, either behind the fold, like behind the actual spine of the phone, and near the hinge area. These are actually open areas, gaps in the phone that would allow dust and other particles and other little tiny objects like sand, grains of sand and stuff, to actually get up in there in the phone and under the OLED screen.
I hate sand.
I hate sand too, specifically for this reason.
It gets everywhere.
That's why I never go to the beach, because my phone's too important to me. But it's even more of an issue here with this foldable display, since it has so many gaps in it. And there's even so imagine, the phone opens kind of like a book, and there's a display on either side, and those essentially fixed to the phone itself, but the spine, the middle of that screen, isn't really fixed to anything. It has to be loose. It has to be able to flex so that the phone can bend and open and close. And so that loose flex area of the spine means that the OLED screen could potentially press against objects that got stuck inside of the phone in that area, which is why several of the reviewers actually saw over time that there were little bumps in the screen, almost like just little things that were protruding, trying to break through the screen, just little bumps, because that's actually a perfect picture. Because there's maybe a grain of sand in there or something like that, or some dirt or dust or debris that is really just being pressed up against this very thin and fragile display. So there's also another thing with the screen. There's a screen protector, apparently. What looks to be a pre-installed screen protector. Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, did, of course, sort of a first impressions look. He thought it was a screen protector that was pre-installed. So when he tried to peel it off, he realized, oh, this is not a screen protector. It is actually a vital part of the phone, and removing it or attempting to remove it will potentially permanently damage your phone. And his actually blacked out. So taking off the screen protector actually caused his phone to black out completely, and he had to get sent a completely new unit in order to continue his initial review.
You might also have to start over with a replacement.
Yes.
That's what he did.
Exactly. So this is just, trying to take it off would just potentially apply too much pressure on the underlying surface, which would kill the OLED. And there's just a bunch of there's a laundry list of issues here. So
that's why they have delayed the launch.
Which is why they've delayed the launch, and
good call.
Rightfully so. Maybe they'll come back even stronger. I hope they do. Otherwise, this phone is screwed. Let's talk about other phones that have been royally screwed lately, including this one from Energizer, or the Energizer Big Battery P18K Pop smartphone that we've talked about several times on the show. And it was known for having a ridiculous 18,000 milliamp battery, but also being, as a consequence, thick. More than 3 times thicker than most smartphones.
That's a thick.
And significantly heavier.
Thick phone.
Making it difficult to fit in even larger pockets for most people. This was designed by the company Avenir. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Avenir?
Avenir. who licensed the Energizer brand name with hopes of mass production.
It's almost like Avexier, but with an N.
Avexier. That's why it sounded familiar. Yeah, good, astute observation, Paul. So they actually put the P18K Pop on Indiegogo with an early bird price of $549 US, and they had a goal. They were of $1.2 million. They were really shooting for the stars there. Mm-hmm. They ended up with just over $15,000. So quite the opposite success story that our light gun has been having that we mentioned earlier.
That's not a lot of money.
They fell 99% short of their goal. Why?
Maybe they are listening too much, because I've heard a lot of people say, like, for the phone manufacturers who are eternally seeking the thinnest possible phone they can design, and a lot of people are like, it doesn't have to be like paper thin. It doesn't have to be super, super, super thin.
Sure.
I'm okay with it being a little bit thicker if that means it's a little bit more durable or it has more battery life or something like that. But not this.
That's too much.
This is
taking us. This harkens back to like the 1990s.
Yeah, that's
brick phones.
That's fairly absurd.
No one's gonna buy this. So and no one did buy it because it never became a thing because it didn't have enough funding.
And because what anyone can do is there's power bricks that you can get that are this size that have the same amount of power in them, and then get whatever phone you want and just plug it into that when you need it, and not necessarily have to be holding that thing up anytime you want to use your phone.
Exactly. So so long, Mr. Pop. It was nice knowing you. And then finally we have number 1 on YouTube trending.
Right now?
This is the number 1 video in the world on YouTube. It is the Sonic the Hedgehog live action.
Should we do a disclaimer or a warning?
Official trailer. Yeah, the warning is that...
I don't want to play the whole thing.
It's not worth playing the whole thing. You guys can just watch it. I think I put it in the description.
Yeah.
But look at that like to dislike ratio.
183,000 dislikes and 125,000 likes.
I mean, it's getting views like crazy. It's 7.2 million views already. But when you look at just how they've done this and just like the artwork, the stylized, really it's Sonic. Sonic's face looks messed up.
And they play Gangster's Paradise,
which doesn't make any sense.
Not as like a brief cut in the clip, but it's like the main song they keep playing.
It's just a bunch of white dudes in Sonic, which is Gangster's Paradise. I don't understand. Jim Carrey's in this movie. He plays Dr. Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik, yes.
Is that yeah? Which is, I think, they got the mustache down, but isn't Dr. Robotnik supposed to be fat?
Yeah. I feel like at the very end. There's a shot where, he must go through some transformative thing that happens.
Oh, okay.
Where he looks more like Dr.
Maybe this is the extended trailer and I only saw the short version, but I think, Jim Carrey's great. I love Jim Carrey.
This is the part.
But I also just don't believe in this film. Look at how creepy he looks. He looks like Michael Jackson. Look at his nose. He looks like he's had plastic surgery on his nose.
He's got a creepy human smile.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the voice actor is Ben Schwartz, which is, I like him as an actor. He's cool. But I'm not seeing it. I didn't laugh once in the trailer, even in the funny parts.
I'm not showing this anymore.
No, don't show it anymore.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like this is a movie that you watch because you want to do a react video to it.
Yeah.
Because it's so cringy that's its only redeeming value. Not that it's going to win some Oscars or anything. Yeah. But that's it for my half.
Okay.
We'll end on that awful, awful note. The only thing that could possibly pick us up from here is moving on to Paul's half.
My half of the show.
So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere, though. You can follow the link in my description if you're watching me on YouTube to go to Paul's channel. It'll take you right to the second half of today's stream, or you can stay right where you are on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. Thank you to anyone who's going to do timestamps, your everyday tech, if that's you. Yeah. You the man. And also, thank you in advance to anyone who picked up anything from either of our stores. We will be giving you Johnson shoutouts during the after party right after Paul's half.
That's true.
And also anyone who donated in Super Chat will be reading...
Dogs.
Doggos! Okay. That is one lovable security system you have.
Dogs. Hey, the dogs are excited.
Doggos! All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye. Cut!